How's you going, guys? Welcome back to Grampie's workshop. Another day, another project. That's the way things roll around here. Starting today with a project about making a little table. I'm going to try and make a little table, just a small one for in the camp. We need it for storage, horizontal surfaces. You know what horizontal surfaces are like. The more horizontal surfaces you have, the more stuff you can store. So that's the name of this game. And that's what I'm going to try and make. So I'm going to start off. I have some legs left over from an old table we had years ago, and I have to make skirt boards or apron boards, whatever you call them, that go between the legs. I like to call them apron boards, but a lot of people call them something else. I have to make some of those. I've got to get little brackets to go in the corner. Well, I have the little brackets because I salvaged those from an old table. Little corner brackets to hold the legs onto the table, and then I have to get a tabletop, of course. What good would a table be without a top? So I have an old piece that we had, an old table a long time ago, and I saved the piece, of course. So I have that piece over there in the pile of wood over yonder. So I'm going to dig that out later on and cut that, see how big I can make the table. I like to get it at least, say, 24 inches by 36 inches. But anyways, we'll see how that goes. Okay? So step one, I have to mill up some wood here that I'm going to try and scrounge around to make the apron boards. So that's what I'm going to be up to next. So, okay, here's what we got going so far. I spared you the pain of watching me cut wood, but I had these pieces it's a hardwood. They came off an old table that I got from my mom and dad years ago. It's a nice looking hardwood. I'm not sure what kind of wood it is, but anyways, it is what it is, and that's what it is. So anyways, I ripped that down to just about 2 inches, and then I ran her through the joiner and cleaned up 3 of the sides. Anyway, I didn't do this side yet because to make the skirt boards or the apron boards, you only need one surface to be decent. So that'll be my surface. This one back here, it doesn't matter. And there's some marks in this, but that's just only going to add character. And this wood, like, I'm not even sure how well it would stain because it's an old wood and it's pretty dry. It would probably sap up that stain like crazy. So I expect that the finish in this table is going to be just a painted finish, but we don't know for sure yet. So stay tuned. After this, I'm going to see about my corner braces that'll hold the legs together, and I'll get the legs down out of the rafters, and we'll see what we have to do to put those together. So that's going to be the next phase. So check back with you later, boys. So here we are trying to figure out, here's the legs, by the way, and again, they're off an old table that we had, but they're not bad. They're rounded on the edge, but other than that, square down, like just a piece of square stock with the front rounded over. It's really nice wood underneath all the paint, but in order to strip that down, because the apron boards aren't going to be the same material, like here's one of the apron boards that I was going to use. That's not the same kind of wood as in the leg, so if you tried to stain it, well, it wouldn't work out. So it's probably all going to get painted. So anyway, I'll sand this and rough it up and, you know, fix any blemishes in the legs, but I'm just going to paint it. I don't know what color yet, but anyway. So what I'm trying to lay out here is see how much table I can get. How big I can make the table. So I'm thinking I've got the tabletop that I'm going to use over on another table here, another horizontal surface, and I can get a piece 36 by 24 out of this old tabletop. So that's going to be a good size, 36 by 24. So in order to get this 36, I need to have a little bit of a overhang on each side. I'm thinking maybe like 1.5 inches on the sides. So 1.5 inches, if I try to lay these legs out just rough, just to see what it would look like. Let me see, 1.5 inches is 3, so if I make this 33 inches, whoopsie. I'm just going to put a clamp on that to hold it while I'm doing my measure and make it easier. Okay, this doesn't have to be right accurate, dead on, right? I mean, this is just to get an idea. So 33 would be about here. So that would be as wide as the table. Then when I put a 36-inch top on it, it would overhang about an inch and a half on each side, which is decent. So that means the skirt board I'm going to need is 30 inches. So I'm going to make it 30 inches. So that means the overhang will be a little bit less than an inch and a half, an inch and a quarter maybe on each side, which is nice. So 30 inches for the skirt board on this side. So here's one of my skirt boards, and it's 2 inches, and it's a little bit more than I need, so that's going to be good. I'll be able to use that. One issue that I come up with though, I have these corner brackets. Check those out. Those are just desk brackets. I got them taped together. Wait till I open these up and show you. I don't want to spend all day opening these. These are just ordinary brackets that go on the desk. They orient in the corner. So they would go like, if that was one skirt, and this is the other skirt, then this is going to end up in here, something like that. You have to cut, of course, mounting slot there. So that'll go like that. And then the bolt that's protruding from each of these legs goes through this hole, and you bolt that up, and lo and behold, it clamps in there pretty tight. Great idea. However, because I was using scrap materials I could find around the shop, the widest I can make these pieces was 2 inches. And if you notice, my brackets are more than 2 inches. But what are you going to do? Well, we could cancel the project and, you know, go sit in the lake room, but I ain't going to do that. What I thought I would do, I'm going to have, I've got 3 of these pieces here. One of them is, it's the same kind of wood, but it's a little narrower. But I thought what I'd do is I'd just buzz off a piece of that and then maybe glue it with a biscuit or something on the bottom to make that wider, and then I could make maybe a nice little scallop edge back up to this piece, and that would give it additional strength in the corners here to keep it from racking. So I thought that was a pretty ingenious idea. So I think that's what I'm working towards. So anyway, then to try to figure out how to move to the next step, to do a little, can you make any more noise? I don't think so. To move to the next step, try to figure out how wide it's going to be or how deep. Like I say, I can make it 24 inches. So if I use the same overhang, about an inch and a bit, to get 24 inches. So that's going to make the gap in here, I'm going to make it 18 and a half. 18 and a half would be about an inch overhang on either side. So then these skirt boards need to be 18 and a half. Well, the boards I have, I only have 3 of them. And if I take one of them and cut it in half, because they're only 36 inches long, 32 inches long, I can only get skirt boards that are 16 inches wide. And like I say, I need 18 and a half. So that idea went out the window. So I went searching for more wood. I like to make these apron boards or skirt boards out of hardwood because it's a more robust material, because the table is going to take a lot of racking, because you'll be leaning on it, and you know. So anyway, these are old skirt boards or apron boards from the table that these legs came from, actually. And like normal, I save everything, especially hardwood. You can always use even little itty bitty pieces of hardwood. You can still use it. So when this notch was in this because it was the table could be extended. So that, excuse me, there was a wood dovetail piece that went in here that would slide out with the extension. Kind of neat. Anyway, I saved that dovetail too, by the way. And then there's a little bead put on the bottom just to add a little I don't know, style. Okay, so I can't use that bead because I don't want to have to replicate that in the other skirt boards. So when you measure the distance there, I can get about 2 3/4 of an inch off of this board, and I have 2 of them. So I'm going to rip these down to 2 1/4 inches. Well, I'm going to put it over here so you can see it. I'm going to rip these down to 2 1/4 inches, plane up the edges and treat the surface. And then for these, and that'll do my side skirts, but the front skirts and the back skirts, because this is only 2 inches, I'm going to have to get some more material just to put on the end here, 6 inches or so, 3/4 of an inch, just to make a little kind of a wavy edge, to add a little bit more support in the corners. And I can glue that together with biscuit or something, make that good and solid. And then I can line out to do my hinge, or not my hinges, my corner brackets.